Welcome back to Sordid Sparrow. Today I'm going to show you how to make another kind of wasp nest to either have as an ornament, which is kind of bizarre, or you could even try hanging it up in the rafters as a prank at your in-laws' house. Or maybe it will actually be a wasp decoy like the other wasp nest decoy that I demonstrated how to make. So let's get started. Okay, for this particular project, you're going to need either some gray ribbon. I found this at Hobby Lobby or Joann's Fabrics, but it was, I think it was Hobby Lobby. Anyway, at your craft stores, maybe Walmart has it. This is like, it's what you put on cuffs for sweatshirts and things when you make them yourself. You can buy this by the yard. Basically what you want is either this or this kind of ribbon. I'm going to use the wider kind that I don't have to worry about making a top. So I'm just going to determine how big around I want my wasp nest to look. And I think I want it to be approximately 3 inches in diameter. I'm going to cut about 7 inches of fabric. All right, so this is what I'm going to make the top and the sides of the wasp nest with. The bottom part, the part that faces down, is going to be made out of this kind of waffly looking ribbon I found. It's like an elastic stretchy ribbon. It's you don't have to use this. You could just use plain fabric and then just draw using a Sharpie to make kind of like the little like holes where the wasps put their little babies. But this has kind of a three-dimensional texture, so that's why I really liked it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 pieces of this ribbon so that it's wide enough. If you can get a wide enough ribbon, then you won't have to sew them together, but I'm going to take 2 pieces of the ribbon and stitch them together like so. Like that, to make it so that can be the bottom of the wasp nest. I'm going to use my sewing machine, but you could also use needle and thread or yarn and thread. So I'm going to put right sides together because this is what it looks like on the wrong side. And then I'm just going to stitch it real quick on the machine. Doesn't have to be perfect. Boom, it's done. Okay, so that's the part that's going to be the bottom of the bee's nest. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and start stitching it. First I'm going to take my the sides and I'm going to stitch those together. Like so. Okay, and then so this is going to be the walls of the wasp nest, like this. Oopsies. And then you can kind of imagine. I'm just going to put it together real rudimentary. You can kind of tell that it's taking shape. And then this is going to be where the little wasps go in and out. And then the top part, I'm going to stitch it down like that, almost like a hat. So now you can kind of see it's taking the shape of a wasp nest. And then I forgot to add to my what you're going to need list. You're going to need some polyester fiberfill to put inside to give it some body. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to stitch the honeycomb part of it to the sides. So I'm going to turn it inside out and I'm going to put the right side in like so. So you kind of get the idea of where I'm going to stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start here where the seam is, and I'm just going to stitch around, stretching as I go. There we go. So now if you turn it the other way, right side out, it's starting to take the shape of kind of like the wasp's nest shape. Okay? And you can leave the raw edges in there. And then because this sort of looks like it's pooching out, I want to put some more ribbon on there just to kind of make it look like it's being hidden up inside the nest itself. So I want these edges to kind of come down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this on with some, when I'm done, with some of the no-sew fabric glue. What we're going to do next is we are going to stuff it. All right, so you don't need quite as much, obviously, to stuff this with. In fact, it's probably better if you don't use too much so that you can make sure your wasp nest, the honeycombs, or the whatever you call those, are kind of in there a little more. So this is way too much. So you just need like a little handful just to give it a little bit of body. But you want enough so that it won't be collapsing. But then you want to be able to turn these edges down like so. So that it takes on the shape of a wasp nest. And I'm going to use this yarn to stitch it down. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little loop and my tail end and I'm going to tie a knot. Just like so. And then a little trick to hide the string before you trim it is poke it back down into your whatever it is. Like that. So then the raw end is hidden inside the body of your project. See, it's really starting to take shape. All right. Okay, so next I would like to put my papery ribbon along the outside edge. So I'm going to measure it so it overlaps just a little bit. Like that. And you kind of want the raw edges to be hanging down. And then I'm going to use my favorite no-sew fabric glue, which hopefully is not dried out. Just squeeze a little on there. Oops. It's kind of, it looks a little bit like Elmer's white all-purpose glue, but it's not. And then I'm just going to dot it along the edges. And then carefully lay the ribbon on there. Whoops. Try not to get it all over your fingers. I think I need a new container of this glue. This will kind of give it a little bit of that papery look to it. It's kind of almost like a silky but not shiny textured fabric ribbon. There, and then that'll take a little while for it to dry. See? All right. Now, in order to make the bottom part look even more wasp nesty, you take a Sharpie or even like some dark colored paint and a delicate paintbrush, and then you emphasize the little holes so that they look a little darker. See that? And just kind of go along. You don't have to do every single one, but just kind of go every other, just to make it look from a distance more like a wasp nest. If you were using just plain fabric, then you would just make little like dots in a row that looked made it kind of look like a wasp nest. I'm afraid of bees and wasps. I don't know why I'm so like fascinated with them. There, see? There, that's looking pretty good. All right, so once it's dry and you feel like you've gotten everything sewn down sufficiently, add a little more glue right here. And there you have it. So here you have your little wasp nest that you can scare someone with. You can play a practical joke on them, but maybe it'll keep the wasp from making nests on your patio next to your back door. Who knows? It's worth a try. Or if you really are into creative Christmas ornaments, you can decorate the top with some glitter and hang that on your Christmas tree. Thank you so much for joining me this time on Sordid Sparrow. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to leave comments below if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you. Bye.